Okay, it is a bit later, but I did come back and re-cleared the fight without getting everyone obliterated, because, yeah, all you have to do is have Morte taunt him at the beginning of the fight, and then that's it. It seems like one of the most biggest, climactic, most important fights, and it was funny watching him spam all these big, scary spells that freeze the game like I'm playing Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystara, but if you just taunt him with Morte, he literally just turns his brain off for the entire fight and punches. So you just have the whole team beat him up like it's the printer in Office Space. And it takes a while, but all you really have to do is have Falls from Grace very occasionally heal people. Mostly Morte.
In enduring, grow strong.
And that's pretty much the entirety of it. Oh god, my inventory! I've been playing so much Fallout lately. I forgot that I have this inventory to come back to. The game might be ending soon, so I don't even know if it was worth it trying to manage it through this whole part of the game.
My blade has shifted.
Will I even find someone to sell things through it to? Fighting skills have improved, Dakon's weapon has changed, 1 hit point gain and 1 from Con. Yeah. 1 from Con at 16? Your exceptional constitution gives you plus 2 hit points per level. Is that the one that is that the base one and the one from per level? Man, that number goes way higher. You gain so much more hit points in modern D&D. Like his con modifier would be 3, and then he'd roll a dice on top of that. Plus 5 for, so yours is 5, but yours is only 2. Yours is 2. 2. Constitution is above average in a way that does not say it gives me any more health. So I think the average Constitution was higher, or like numbers. Maybe 10 wasn't even the breaking point for average or not. You know what? I don't know. It says intelligence of 9 is average and constitution of 14 is average. It's a pretty wide spread to call average, honestly. Anyway. The angel said to come back from the door that we came from. Alright, it was quick save was Q in this game. He said, oh, he meant that one. That door was the one we came from. What? Okay. So that was the gate city I was just in, right? Like, I guess I successfully moved it back because there wouldn't be a cutscene of it moving if I had not moved it back successfully. But I never imagined that it literally just plucks all the houses and drops them all. What if you're not in a house at the time? Does it just not take you with it? The fact that... I just thought that the... I guess I imagined that the entire region moved somehow. Like it morphed, like the surrounding area just morphed, and it just kind of like... defied the local geography and just slid from one place to the other. Also, this is bad news. I'm back in Sigil. So this sucks because what I was hoping for obvious reasons, I was hoping that we would land, that I would be in that town while it went back, because if it went back to the previous map, then maybe I could go back in that cave and get Anna back. But no, so Anna's just gone forever, I guess. Because she's just standing in a level that doesn't exist anymore and I can't go back to. I forgot they have to run mode. Okay. Because my only chance at potentially getting back was the Morte cube thing. But I had to give that up in order to continue through the story. So I also can't use that cube in order to Yeah. So I can't even try to see with the cube to see if it would take me back to that level now that it's been restored. To see, like, the... You know, like, talk to the characters for the aftermath and all that. I think this is probably a relatively common opinion, but I do think that this game kind of falls off in quality after Sigil. Or I guess I should say more specifically after Ravel. Like, obviously Ravel is this big, impactful, crazy moment. But then after that you play a series of these pretty linear levels that just don't feel like they have the personality of the game before it. And the interconnectedness and all that. And every time you go anywhere, you can never come back. But I definitely think that, like, one of the most brutal choices that this game has is that it's just a bummer that they give you a new party member in the middle of that sequence. That just feels like a bad call. Because, like, I think the majority of new players will probably take Valor with them. Because he's a new party member. People love collecting party members in RPGs. I think that almost everybody would take Valor with them. But it seems really hard to keep Valor in your party because he's so at odds with basically everything that it's kind of hard to keep him around. So you just lose him pretty easily. But, like, the thing is, you get to that Tower of Skulls, and that Tower of Skulls is itself its own gate that is threatening to take party members away from you. Like, potentially multiple party members away from you. And, like, I think that this highlights and supports my criticism, is that I think a lot of people probably get to that tower and are stuck with this one just immovable object of, like, this is the obstacle that is in your way. You literally cannot continue the story unless you get the skull tower problem solved. But a lot of the solutions to these problems are that the skull wants to permanently take your stats away or permanently take characters from your party away. And that's, like, a brutal choice to have to make. Like, that's the kind of choice that a game like Lisa would have you make. And so that's interesting, being hit with those kinds of choices. Like, that's compelling. And that highlights how uncompelling Valor is as a choice. Like, you're not making any kind of moral choice, really. In most cases, what you're doing is you've been allowed to take every party member with you so far in this game. I think there's, like, an optional one that I missed somewhere that's hard to get, so the fact that it's hard to get also potentially means that most people wouldn't have encountered it, which means they're probably still going to have my experience. You get a new party member, and you want to know what his deal is. You want to interact with him and figure out, like, what's up with that character, see where a story goes, and he is interesting, and he's voiced by Keith David, and you want to see how that's gonna go. But then, when you get him, you have to lose a party member. And the game has not detailed for you how losing a party member works at this time. And that is incredibly, incredibly variable from game to game. Like, there are games where you have, like, an HQ, like the Normandy, and then when you swap out a party member, that guy just goes back to the Normandy, and they're around throughout the game in your roster. There's games like, I believe, Fallout New Vegas, where party members have a home base that's unique to that individual character, and they all run back to that location. So, like, in that scenario, if you lost Anna, you'd have to go back to those caves where you found Anna, and if you lost to Daikon, you'd have to go back to that one bar, and so on and so forth. Probably the same thing with maybe instead of going back to the bar, Ignis would go to the alley of harsh angels or whatever, and, like, be drawn to the place that he burned down once upon a time. But I believe in this game, going by the comments, characters just stand where you left them forever, which is acceptable in a game that carefully makes sure to have the whole game remain available to you at all times. But given that entire chunk of the game was completely linear and is full of zones that I believe we can never go back to after you finish them, that's just a brutal time to include a new party member, because that means you have to leave somebody behind in order to bring that party member, and you might not even know that. And then, boom, that character's just gone forever. And that's rough because party members to me are such an important and integral part of why RPGs are compelling. They're basically like half of the point of an RPG. So to have a character built up narratively and then just disappear unceremoniously and never follow up on that is just a disappointing way to deal with that character's narrative. So there's no satisfying choice there. It's not... There's no, like, narrative irony. It's not tying back to stuff. Like, if you lost Morte to that Tower of Skulls, that would be a way that... That'd be a thing that tied to Morte specifically. But losing Anna in that cave just because I wanted to find out what Valor's deal was is not compelling. You know, especially not in the way that, like, for example, losing Valor was. Valor had narrative context for his disappearance. Losing not disappearance, sorry, I gotta pause the game. Them talking fucks up my ability to formulate sentences. Valor, I have no complaints about as far as him being totally incompatible and then constantly causing scenarios where he wants to attack me and kill me, and him being incompatible with the party. I think that's really interesting to have in a game as a character. But then losing a different character because of Valor, and not because Valor killed that party member in like a Lautrec Dark Souls sort of way. Like, it's not like he's a betrayer who killed Anna, which it also would be potentially at least something. Instead, Anna was just a logistical casualty in a really boring way, where I just couldn't fit her in the party, and therefore she's gone and maybe even dead because of just the logic of how that environment works as it moves around and stuff like that. That just, I don't know, I'm just deeply disappointed by that part of the game working that way. I don't know why that's what they landed on. It's just very odd. And it feels avoidable just by having Valor be introduced in a different context, because given the way they handled this game, it just seems extremely likely that Valor will be one party member too many for many, many, many players. And so they should maybe, like, think about that location where you recruit him, and having that location have some kind of longevity, or just in the case of, like, the fact that they know that this is the point of no return part of the game where things keep going forward and so on. Like, just after you finish that town and you kill the angel, let us revisit that specific room so we can get our party member back that we lost in that room. Like, the fact that finishing that town didn't let me go there, but instead I got sent straight back to Sigil, is just feels like an avoidable problem. There is an always run toggle. Oh. Just in time. Doesn't work. I hit shift that time. Oh. Done. Oh, there we go. I don't have to hold shift the entire game now, right in time for probably the ending. Wow, I nailed it. Okay. Ba-doop-ba-doop. It's interesting that the objective at the end is at the mortuary, because it suggests that maybe... That's a rat picker square. Just gonna find someone to try to sell stuff to. It suggests that maybe the, maybe we were in the mortuary not because we incidentally got killed, but because we specifically were trying to get into the mortuary, so we let ourselves be killed for that purpose, so that we could get into the Fortress of Regrets. But that happened to be the time we lost our memory. Because we don't just lose our memory every time we die, because we've died plenty in this game without losing our memory. So there's some kind of rule to it, or maybe it's just random. As you enter, Mebeth looks up, her face ashen. She looks ill. As you watch, creases spread across the folds of her face like cracks, and her gray eyes flicker, as if having trouble focusing on you. Mebeth, are you all right? She smiles weakly, and her voice is scratchy, as if trying to force its way past layers of dust. When she speaks, it is like an echo. I have a little longer, Right, I came here because she's a vendor, but she's one of the people that was a piece of Ravel. Mebeth, did you know you were Ravel? She takes a deep breath. Her words come slowly, her voice rattling in her throat. Mayhap. Mebeth has forgotten herself many times over. I have dreamed that I was someone else. Each word is heavier than the last, as if centuries of weight are pressing down on them. Her body seems to shift slightly, as if wanting to relax, let go. How could you not know who you are? How is it ye do not know yourself? Mammoth licks her lips. Many things, even bits of the self, they fall through memory's cracks, shadows of things forgotten. These memory thing pieces may be bad, maybe good. But why, Mebeth? Why the disguise when you could have been Ravel again? Here, in this place, all I did was the mending of things and bodies, setting bones, delivering babes. In all these things, I was content. She sighs. As for being that other, that Ravel, she licks her lips again. I think you take for granted what a comfort it would be, oft times, to misplace a memory or two. I wasn't sure if you would be here, Mebeth, after what happened. Mebeth nods. Every movement is pained. My precious one. She winces as she takes a breath. Seeing ye here, it is like an echo. Little time remains. The threads, these ravels, are unraveling as we speak. Are you in pain? She nods. Yes, yet it is the irony which hurts the most. She gives a sickly smile. An act of kindness thrice repaid. It is the way of the plains that my few acts of kindness should be the death of me. She laughs softly. Yet I have no regrets. I have questions, Mebeth. I need to know who did this to you. Can you She holds up her hand to silence you. Precious man, I would have you hear me this last time. Mebeth, there's not much time. Precious man, she sighs. All's I wished to do was set the lady free of her cage. For ye, all's I wished for ye was to live. And for my daughter, she sighs. There is a saying on the plains that a hag's kindness is crueler than her hate. The poisons all it touches. I'm sorry things turned out as it did. If I could have saved you, She smiles slightly. I do not regret what has happened, my precious. She smiles. Her smile fades. Nor should ye. Her eyes film over and her gaze loses focus. I can stay here no longer. Farewell, Ravel.
Done.
And she's gone. Well, that was quite the thing to walk in on. We're getting very late in the game and we still have never found a shirt for this poor man. He's just never gonna wear armor. Take me to the Modron Maze. Take me to Cursed. Carcery. Yeah, you can only click on places in this town. Everything else is out of bounds. But it certainly does seem that Cursed is back where it's supposed to be. Bah. Lower ward? We haven't been here for so long. I'm just trying to think of like where I could... Oh yeah! This shop area. Just trying to find any kind of merchant. So I can try to sell off my mountain of nonsense right now. Only the portal lens, huh? Suppose it is like a magical item. But no, overall I'm gonna have to talk to somebody else to see if they will take my bracelets.
Get out of my way.
Not you. Do. Why is this hard? Man, I haven't been here for so long. Maybe the dress merchant? That was near the map.
Stairs making my skull itch.
Just whoabouts would be a merchant? I might be able to sell things to coax metal. First of all, have I gotten better at being a warrior? Want to be a better warrior? Okay, am I ready for more instructions? I think I could teach you a bit more. I'm ready. What can you teach me? Axes. So the first time he's like, axes, eh? Well, I can teach you if you want. So I did get one more level. But now he's like, he looks at you in amazement. You're wanting to learn more? Fred, there's no more for you to learn about that weapon. No one in all the planes can teach you more about it. It seems my axes just has a comical... Yep. 5 pluses next to it now. I am comically knowledgeable of axes.
Done.
I'm not exactly sure how that works.
I'm gone.
I imagine if it's D&D 3 or 5, I would figure that basically it meant +1 to hit and +1 to damage for each plus. But the idea of training your level over and over again... The idea of training your level over and over again at the same weapon for an ambiguous bonus... I don't think you can do that 5 times in D&D. I don't know. Never come up before, at least. Do you know of a citadel called the Fortress of Regrets? It is a place of shadows, a fortress not even this tower can breach. You know anything more about it?
Updated my journal.
It is a memorial that has forgotten itself. It now decays in darkness, slowly dying among the skies of the negative material plane. Do you know how to reach it? No. Can you do anything with my weapons? Show me what you have brought. I will study its potential and see if its pain can be given expression. There we go, except it's still not helpful. Yep, still can't sell shit. Man. This is not a problem I anticipated.
All right.
What are these places? The tailor might want some stuff. Maybe a tailor would buy bangles and stuff. You think that with there being an entire marketplace, I could find somebody that would buy bracelets and stuff there? This guy also won't buy anything from me. It's weirdly frustrating. Alright. Well, I'm gonna have to...
Alright.
I'm just gonna have to search everywhere. I'll get back to you guys in a bit. This is already taking too long. Well, that's frustrating. I just lost a recording. It wasn't that big of a deal, except for the fact that I'm continuing to try to troubleshoot what's going on with these lost recordings, and I thought maybe my slideshow of art was causing it, but this time that layer is disabled and it happened anyway, so now I'm just getting frustrated that it happened again. But anyway, I found that the Curiosity Shop would buy my stuff, so I sold off all my stuff, got to 20,000, whatever the money's called in this game, and then I came to the tattoo guy, and the tattoo guy sells Tattoo of the Supreme Warrior. 3 armor class, 3 strength, 9 to base hit points. So it's a big, like, you finish your warrior training, here's another reward, you can access from that. So that's a big deal, because 3 strength and 3 armor class... This gives me 2 strength and this gives me 2 armor class. So I'm at +5 strength and +5 armor class just from those 2 bonuses, and then +9 to base hit points. So now he has more hit points than anybody else by a fair margin. He's even tankier than Morte now. Maybe. I don't know if all the other stats work out that way anyway. But anyway, no other major losses necessarily, but it's just me managing all that stuff. I really hope I don't lose another recording tonight though, because I'm about to actually do the plot now. I hate having an ongoing technical problem that I don't even know what's being caused by, especially when I haven't changed anything. And so I'm like, okay, someone out there made some kind of change to a piece of software, and it's gonna cause me problems now professionally without me opting into that problem. You fuckers. Okay. So our goal was to get into the mortuary. Probably rest first, honestly. It's too dangerous to rest here. We're doing, like, fine.
Yes.
No. No. No.
Done.
Okay, my bad. We're not ready to go yet. I need to go to the guy that talks for 1 billion years to get a free rest. Should be here.
Hey, we're being watched, Chief.
I have
Just
not.
Natural.
Nope.
All right.
Casual.
I have not been here for a long time. Was he down here? Oh, yeah, there we go. Vermin and disease control. I am struggling coming back to this town after so much time away. There we go. Had some questions. How'd you end up here?
How may I help?
And then I do a long rest just to make up for the fact that I cast 1 spell.
I'm gone.
There we go. I don't seem to be getting attacked constantly anymore, so maybe everyone that was aggro on me reset while I was gone. Okay, now we're back at the hive to get inside the mortuary. And now I'm inside the mortuary.
All right.
Here we are. There's something about the arch in front of you. Something hauntingly familiar. A bone-numbing chill blankets the air between these two black pillars, as if the arch itself bordered on some other, colder space. For some reason, you know this is the portal to the Fortress of Regrets. Now all you need to do is open it. Grit your teeth and peel the skin from your left forearm. You clench your teeth and dig your fingernails into your left forearm. With a dry, tearing sound, you peel off a strip of skin. The chill between the pillars becomes stronger, almost hungering, as if the portal has opened a crack. Examine the skin. This scrap of skin has been peeled off the back of your left forearm. Its scarred, gray surface reminds you of a zombie's hide. It feels more like a piece of cured leather than a strip of skin. Prick your left index finger and inscribe a regret on the scrap of flesh with your blood. You prick the tip of your index finger. Before the wound can heal, you squeeze forth several drops of blood. As you prepare to scrawl your regret, a series of images float across your mind. I regret what happened to my companions. You whisper the words to yourself, but the regret echoes through your mind. All my companions had to suffer for me to reach here. You scrawl the regret onto the scrap of flesh, but your rapid healing forces you to stop often to reopen the cut on your finger and squeeze forth more blood. Several moments later, you have finished, your blood glistening on the scrap of skin, a combination of your flesh, your blood, and your regret. Wash the blood dry. As you watch the bloody regret dry, a wave of cold washes over you. You look up. The black pillars to either side of the arch are glowing softly, motes of misty blue light drifting from their sides to form a shimmering curtain between them. Beyond the curtain, you can barely make out a weathered stone causeway leading into darkness. Everybody ready? I am yours till death comes for us both. I see. Fall from grace? I have come this far, and it would be rude of me to retire before the final hour. She smiles slightly. Even if you were to ask politely, I would not permit it. It seems I have no choice, then, Daikon? Your path is mine. Morte, are you ready? Morte hesitates, glancing at the portal. Glances at you. Glances at the portal again. Then gives a rattling sigh. Look, I'm not gonna say too much here, but, well, there's something that I need to tell you. What is it, Morte? Well, it's about where we're going, or, actually, where we've been. Where we've been? What are you talking about? It's so subtle you almost miss it. Daikon's blade flickers, the edge dulling. As you glance at him, his hands drop to his sides, as if he's preparing for battle. This isn't your first time we've been through this. You see, we've been to this Fortress of Regrets before, though we I didn't know it then. So, from the very start, you could have told me where the portal was, what the portal key is, why I am immortal, what happened to my immortality, and the fact that it's in this fortress? The fact that I want to indignantly say all this, but I don't really want to threaten him. But the frustration is just so accurate because he literally he knew how everything. The fact that all that was stopping me from going here was this one piece of knowledge. And we woke up right here, and he knew all this and didn't tell me. He's just like, Mort, I'll kill you. Mort looks alarmed. No, I never knew any of that. It's not like you were always the most sharing basher in the plains. That other you kept a lot of the chance to himself. We didn't even know why we were going this place before, or even what this place was. I just know what happened when we got there. And what happened? Well, we went to this fortress, and even before we land foot in the place, we're all split up, fighting for our lives. He shudders. So the first thing I want to tell you is if you're determined to go through with this, there's a good chance that anybody who goes through that portal is going to end up somewhere far away from everybody else. Thing is, even split up, we may be your only hope. Why do you say that? Because whatever was waiting in that fortress for you, Chief, it's already defeated you once. To this day, I don't know how you managed to survive, but if you fall again, you're gonna need someone there to pull you out of that fortress. Mort, I need you to tell me everything you can about the fortress. It's important. This, Fortress of Regrets, it stretches on for leagues, Chief. It's a fortress, but it feels more like a plane in itself. All stone, all darkness, and shadows. Everywhere, shadows. We go there, and we better be prepared. What happened when we first went there? Chief, I don't know what happened to you, but I know what happened to me. I spent my time running from vault to vault, those shadows crawling all over me, trying to bring me down. Then I just... Suddenly we were out, like someone had pulled us back. I see. Is there anything else you can tell me? I can't tell you any more, Chief, except we're bound to be divided as soon as we arrive. It's a huge place, and it's crawling with shadows. And somewhere in that fortress is something more powerful than any of us. There's nothing more to say. Are you sure? This may be the last time we have a chance to speak to one another. Well, Mort pauses. Yeah, there's one other thing you should know. And you, I knew before. The you I knew before. The you that led us here. He wasn't like you at all. What do you mean? All I'm saying is that, despite all your asinine behavior, you got more spirit than he ever did. The other you, he was detached from everything. So, I just want you to keep that in mind. But that's not all you wanted to say, is it? No. Mort pauses. There's one other thing. I may not have liked that other you very much, but he was one smart basher. Smartest basher I've ever known. And he always had every angle covered. If he died at that fortress, that means... well... You don't think I can succeed, do you? No... Mort shakes his head. It's not that, Chief. Because it's not always who's smartest, but who's the most powerful or who's the toughest. Sometimes it comes down to who you are and what you really want. I mean, once you want to become immortal, but in the end, is that really what you wanted? Just be sure of what you want this time, is all I'm saying. Fair enough. Look, Morte. We haven't really talked about this, but you know you don't have to come with me to this place, right? I'll understand if you don't want to. Yeah, I know, Chief, and I can't lie to you. I don't want to go, but I will. Just know that once we step through that portal, it isn't going to be just about you anymore. This is our lives you're playing with, and we don't get back up when we die. Then why are you? It's because of what Ravel said in the maze, and the symbol Fel described for us. Grace's voice is soft, so soft you almost missed it. Isn't it, Morte? What Ravel said in the maze, and what Fel said about the symbol. Torment? They say you draw people who suffer to you, like a lodestone. Morte shakes his head. Maybe it's because you've been suffering all this time. Maybe when you end up settling things, maybe we'll know a bit of peace too. Maybe. Maybe so. Then, are you with me, Morte? Why not, Chief? Morte shakes his head. I mean, we've gone to every other horrible place in the multiverse I can think of. Why take that extra step over the cliff? He gives a rattling sigh. Are you ready? Because if you're not... I'm ready, Morte. There's nothing more I can do to prepare myself. Are you with me? Well, Morte glances at the shimmering blue curtain and gives another rattling sigh. Sure, let's go. I mean, any place else has got to be better than rattling our bone box in the mortuary, right? Alright then.
I feel stronger.
But first we level. Ding! Ooh, what changed? Sensates? This changed color a second ago, didn't it? Maybe it was a bug, or maybe I was wrong. Weapon proficiency slots, saving throws, fightings, 1 characteristic point, my last one probably, and 3 hit points. Constitution wouldn't hurt. Oop, that's an AC for that point. I'll get that one. Plus 1 AC at this point is an improvement to all of my dice rolls there. And he gets 5 more health. It's just Morte just gets a lot of health in general, but he's flagging behind by 10 now, and that's with me having lost health permanently in order to continue the story, which was rude. Let's all go to hell. The negative material plane. For pessimists. It's a good thing I'm self-sufficient, because it's time to get lonely. Done. New existential crisis, who dis? Okay. What was on this side? That was dramatic. All my homies hate the negative material plane. Penis. That is all. Just me and Dianara. Before you was the ghostly form of Dianara. Her spectral gown seems stirred by some ethereal breeze. She is standing at the edge of the black stone causeway, staring out into the emptiness of the plain. Dianara. My love, you should not be here. You must leave at once. Dianara, what is this place? Is this the fortress? This is the fortress of regrets. It is the place that holds the moment of my death prisoner, and I may not stray far from its halls. If you can find a way back to Sigil, you must. If you stay here, my love, you shall die. I'm immortal, Dianara. I don't think I have much to worry about, even here. She shakes her head. No, my love. There is something about this fortress. The shell that surrounds it cuts it off from the rest of the plains. It is that shell that acts as a barrier to your immortality. A shell? The pillar told me that when I die, another dies in my place. If it can't find someone to die for me. Then if you die in this place, it is the end, for there is nothing that lives here. So you must be careful. Return back to Sigil and leave this cursed place. But my allies are here, and that means they are inside this shell. What happens to them if I die? My love, if you have brought anything that lives with you to this place, then it is in terrible danger, both from the shadows and from you. Should you die here, your immortality will hunt for the closest living thing in the fortress, and that is the one who shall die in your place. You must leave here now. I can't go back. I can't go back. So, can you tell me anything else that might be helpful? What waits inside the fortress? There is no natural darkness within the fortress, my love. Only the shades of those who have died in your place. The energies of this plane feed them, and their hatred for you is beyond all reason. They will not permit you to leave. She throws a glance at the walls of the fortress. Do not enter. I beg you. But my allies are in there. I cannot leave them. Do you have any idea where they might be? If you brought others, then they were cast from you when you arrived. It is the nature of this place to divide living things, then kill them. She looks distraught. The fortress is a thing of many miles. Finding your friends here will be difficult. I have to find them. There is no choice in the matter.
Updated my journal.
Very well, my love. If you intend to go on, you must know this. Past the entrance to the fortress is a great antechamber with countless shadows. You must move swiftly and not let them gather around you, or you shall surely be slain. One more thing. Dianara pauses, as if trying to catch a fleeting memory. Within the chamber are great clocks. Her voice becomes steadier, more certain. Clocks which you spoke of once as having been the key to you escaping the chamber. When you were trapped there once before. She looks at you. I know I cannot stay you from your course, my love. I shall watch for you and help you if I can. I brought your ring, Dianara. I found your legacy to me. The ring still holds a part of me within it, my love. When you carry it, you carry my heart with you. She closes her eyes for a moment, and you suddenly feel a warmth pass through you. Dianara opens her eyes, then smiles. I knew you would return to me with it in your keeping. Carry it now with my blessing, and keep it close to your heart. Through it, I will defend you. You have my thanks, Dianara. I must go now. Oh, she gone. Well, good thing I went right. And off we go. Well, combat's about to get real simple. I don't really have buttons.
Great power is here.
Ah, the sorcerer. I have need of you. There are creatures that must die.
The nature druid nightmare thingy that came up before Fortress Interior. It looks like the cutscene must have taken place there because there's just a black square over here. So the thing that killed Ravel is here.
Done.
Oh! There's super shadows. Okay. Pulsating spectral light comes from deep within these fanged pools. This ancient machine looks like a forgotten war relic. Most of the machine is covered in dust, except for the strange panel with levers in front of it. Oddly enough, the ground around the panel is disturbed, as if someone walked here recently. Perhaps in the last few years. Examine. The panel has a series of gears and levers. Beneath each one is a series of scratch marks that look like they were hastily carved there with a dagger. Some bear no marks, other bear a single slash beneath them, and one has an X. Without knowing why, you know the X lever will somehow help you leave this place. Okay, pull it.
Updated my journal.
It gives way easily beneath your touch, and to your surprise disintegrates into mist, then spreads to your hand, which also begins to fade. Then your arm. Then you are overcome with dizziness, and the walls are fading out around you. Wha?
Shadows.
Ah, the Githzerai. I remember him well. Submit.
I may be bested in battle, but I shall never be defeated.
You cannot hope to defeat me.
I have been here before. This time I shall never leave.
So be it.
Well, he's doing unwell. Okay, let's do lock on. There we go. That can run around a little bit better. Owie! I don't know what that cutscene meant. I don't know if I just got to the map he's in and he's under attack and I need to help him, or if I left him to die when I touched the thing. I don't know if I screwed up by doing that. This looks like it might be the same room. Ow. Okay, this is the same room. What? Well, I'm getting my entire ass beat, but what am I actually trying to do? This huge clock looks like it has partially melted into the black stone surrounding it. As you look at the clock face, you suddenly feel a strange crawling sensation warming through the back of your skull. You've seen a clock like this before, but not this one. There's something important about it, but you don't know what.
Updated.
Okay, cool. This ancient machine looks like a forgotten war relic. The X again. Where am I going now? Ow! This huge clock looks like it's partially melted in the black stone surrounding it, but the ground around it's been disturbed as someone walked recently. There's something crudely scratched in the clock's face. and you suddenly feel a strange crawling sensation worming its way through the back of your skull. You know what's written on the clock is a message for you. From you.
Updated my journal.
The message carved in the clock face looks like it was carved with a dagger. Run. Doors are lies. Use cannons, then portal. Looks like the message was written in some haste. Following the message is a crude arrow pointing in the opposite direction as the long hand of the clock. So go that way since it's the long hand. Thanks for the advice. Yep, this is device. Mark the X. Where am I going? No. I guess I did it.
It is difficult to separate shadow from the darkness here. This is not a place meant for the living.
Ah, the Tanari.
So, you are the spider that lies at the center of it all. I have many questions you could answer. Your goals in this matter have not been entirely clear. My goals are not for you to know, fallen Tanari. My indulgence is all that keeps your black heart beating in your chest. You may leave with your life now, if you will. My heart is neither black, nor do I fear for my life. My companions, my friends, are here in your fortress. I shall not leave until we are rejoined and the man we follow has resolved this matter to a satisfactory conclusion. There is no satisfactory conclusion to this fool's errand. You will leave this place, and you shall leave your undying companion here. Fear not for his life. The only price he shall pay is the loss of memory. As gracious as your offer is, I must refuse your offer to abandon my friends. As for the small price he will pay at your hands, it is the equivalent of death to him. I have traveled with this man for some time, and there are many things I do not wish for him to forget. He will forget. It is his fate to remain ignorant. He will forget you, Tanari, just as he has forgotten all who have walked the path of misery with him. He exists to die, forget, and die again. He is nothing. That is your judgment. The fact remains that I do not wish for him to forget me, nor all that he has struggled to reach this place. He has suffered much, and I find my sympathies lie with him rather than the arrogant creature that postures before me and fights as a coward fights, preparing to kill from a distance where his opponent cannot reach him. You shall torment him no more. Tanari. Perhaps you doubt my powers here, in this place. A demonstration may silence your doubt.
You have done enough harm. Prepare yourself.
You are... I can forge planes with my power. I can unmake you.
Ah! Yeah, she was taking like infinitely more damage than he was. These multifaceted globes seem to draw in even the tiniest amount of light and hold it prisoner. Okay, this seems like something new. X. You quickly find the X-marked lever and pull it. It gives way easily beneath your touch, then disintegrates into mist. You take a deep breath, but unlike the other times, nothing happens. In the distance you hear a roaring sound, as if something just opened, and a howling wind is rushing through the vaults. As you try to figure out where the sound is coming from, you suddenly realize you are disintegrating and becoming part of the wind. Now, what's happening? Was that her? No, it's me. The huge clock looks like is... Unlike the other clock with the message, however, the clock face bears no messages or marks. Apparently, the previous incarnation never came across this one. Well, then what do I do? Do 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 do. No, 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 no.
I'm hurt.
Fuck. You got super stuck. You're not really saying anything new. Fuck. Alright, no, we're not. These aren't relevant anymore. Okay. Run, doors are lies, use cannons, then portal. An arrow pointing to what I think is the northeast section of the clock room, as if there was something there. Is that just the cannon, though? I think that just was that. So it suggested that something opened. Where's the door that wasn't open before? Is it you? No. Please keep moving. Come on, man. Oh, God.
Die.
Okay. No, I can win these fights, apparently. Uh-oh. Okay, no damage this time. Oh, 8 damage this time. I didn't exactly load myself with healing items, did I? Skin of Regrets? This is a scrap of your flesh with a regret inscribed upon it. It's a small tattered thing, but it looks like looking at it makes you feel uncomfortable. There's a strange weight about it, feeling heavier than it should. The negative token. Lets me make creatures of shadow freeze. Whenever it's carried by anyone in my party. Does it have a slot it has to go into? This is the really strong one. This 2 AC. I think the negative token's better than that. I should be wearing that. It's an item I got specifically for this.
Die. Don't let it end like this.
Womp womp. Alright. Well,
Feels like I've been straying through someone's bowels.
Oh. So load, I guess. Alright. Let's try not to get anyone killed, but I'm gonna have to try again. Maybe equip this preemptively so it potentially... I don't know. Hopefully it gives me more bonus AC than this thing does. It doesn't actually say what it does stats-wise, but hopefully it's an improvement. But now I'm gonna have to try again.